once or twice of things that happened way back when, of things that made them love each other like diamonds in the sky. Oh, Penny, I see you there in the corner with your smile. Penny, I know that you care, but I'd like it if you showed it to me once in a while. Penny and her lover are not without their flaws. They fight about some things like money and who should do the chores. But when it falls to darkness and it's quiet in the town, Penny and her lover, they don't want me around. They're holding hands and making plans together like a team in dance. So, Penny, I see you there in the corner with your smile. Penny, I know that you care, but I'd like it if you showed it to me once in a while. Don't you remember when I held you tighter than he does?
And the sweet perfume of our hearts in the mud. Don't you remember how I said I'd known you all my time, and I wouldn't rest until I gave you all that I could find. Oh,
Penny, I see you there, and your eyes, they tell me so. Penny, I know that you care, and I'm not afraid to wait around unless you tell me no. Oh, Penny, I see you there, staring out of your window. Oh, Penny, I know that you care, and I'll never, ever, ever let you go.
Timothy and Sam, welcome to The Right Note.
Thank you.
And thank you for
having us.
playing that beautiful rendition of Penny from your collaborative EP, Stories from the Road. Now, I know you guys have worked together in the past and you've collaborated here and there, but in terms of actually making an EP together, how long was the process? Like, how long was the process of coming up with that?
3
Very
days.
short.
Right.
Well, we had a lot of discussion before that.
Yeah, we kind of planned it out.
There's a lot of planning.
But I was on tour and I had a window of time that I could go down to Tim's house, and so that was we had to do it in that time or else it wouldn't be done. So I was at your house for about a week, wasn't I?
Yeah.
But then we wrote these songs over 2 days and we recorded it in one night. We spent the rest of the time like going on bushwalks and
Right.
eating food.
Because it just turned out that Sam's gig was around the corner from my house.
Yeah, okay.
And so she needed a place to stay, and
Right.
we had a spare room, so I was like, yeah, come stay. And then we were like, well, that's the only window that we've got, so let's write some songs.
But
and
it's
see
something
if we
you'd
can
wanted to
record
do
it.
for a while?
Yeah, we've been talking about it for a while. So we met a couple of years back at Tim's sister's gig in Brisbane, and then found out that Tim was friends with my cousin, and then we got really drunk one night and decided we were friends.
As most friendships form. I think.
And the rest is history.
Yeah.
And then we played some gigs together as solo artists and sung
Yeah.
on each other's songs and all that kind of stuff. And then we realised we wanted to do a tour at about the same time.
Yeah.
So we figured we may as well do it together.
Yeah.
That's great. And in terms of the lyrics, as far as I understand it, are they drawn from stories from like your fans and even from just bystanders, like people have been telling you stories and you've actually put them to music? Is that how that worked?
All of the above.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. And sorry, you go.
No, there's just, we had many different stories and I guess anecdotes that were added by fans specifically when we asked for a call out. But then others, there's one song on the EP called Nowhere Fast that we wrote together that's about an interaction that I had with a gentleman out in Cootamundra, at a pub out there. And so it's sort of like the stories have come from very
All these
far and
different
wide.
places.
Right.
Yeah.
What was it a good interaction or a bad interaction?
Great interaction.
Was it?
I mean, heavy, but really, really good.
Okay.
Yeah, he's just long story short, this is about Nowhere Fast, which is a different song. But yeah, he's a guy that served in Vietnam and came back with a whole bunch of injuries, both physical and mental, and drove trucks for Jimmy Barnes. And so that was kind of like the start of the interaction. Was I was playing in the pub and he asked me to play some Barnesy, and I was like, sure, I'll play some Barnesy. And yeah, he tragically lost his entire family to a car accident.
Right.
And then moved to Cootamundra to work on the railway, and just was still being the best human that he could be.
Yeah.
So it was a very inspiring story that I'd tried to write something for a long, long time. And then forgotten about the story, and then when this project came up, it was sort of perfect for it. It was like, well, let's go.
And do some of the other people whose stories that you used for lyrics, that volunteered the stories to you, do they know? Have you had any feedback? Or?
Well, actually, I don't think we haven't told.
No.
What Love Is was written, it was kind of like a collection of a lot of different people's stories. So it wasn't just one, there was this common thread with a lot of different stories.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, we haven't told anyone like this story we wrote about you, because it was kind of like here and here and here and here. And we pulled all these different pieces.
It's more inspiration than a lot of other like specific kind of stories that came through.
Yeah.
But it came across really cool.
Yeah.
It's just like to be able to get that inspiration from so many different people and include it in a song. It's just so cool.
And when we asked people, hey, we're looking for your stories and we want to write a song maybe about your story, we didn't even know what it would look like. We weren't sort of going, okay, so if we find a story about this, we're going to write about this. Or we didn't know necessarily we would collect all these stories and then make one big song story out of it. Or we didn't know if it would be one specific story that we just kind of wanted to start a conversation, wanted to get people telling their stories. That was kind of the main objective was, hey, let's encourage sharing and storytelling, because it's such a lost art sometimes. Music sort of becomes about performing, or it becomes about marketing, or it becomes about, everything else apart from what really we do, which is telling stories and sharing those with people. And we wanted to make the whole process, like the EP, the tour, everything, we wanted to make it a real two-way street and say, hey, we are lucky because we get to stand on a stage and sing you our stories. We want to know yours as well, because, we're in this together kind of thing. So that's kind of where that came from.
And are there stories left over that could be leading into EP2?
There's so many stories left over. We've been getting people to write stories down for us at each gig. So we've got piles of stories.
Oh, right.
Yeah, it's been part of the show.
Yeah.
So we kind of like right before the end of the set, it's usually Sam that runs into the audience and kind of hands out pens and papers and is like, here's the mailing list and here's this other thing that we can write down. And so lots of people have been writing down their story anonymously.
Okay.
And it's,
beautiful stories.
anything
cool.
from
Amazing.
drawings of like cows.
I love it when people draw cows.
Yeah, one person drew cows, another person wrote a haiku. Like there's all of these different things that are just kind of popping out of people that are just honest and real. And you get anything from like a silly joke to someone divulging something that they've never told anyone before on paper because it's anonymous, and they can just be like, okay, this is my space to kind of confess, or
Amazing.
I don't know.
It's a safe space for
Yeah,
sharing.
yeah.
It's we've renamed it Stories That Made Sam Cry.
Oh, right.
When we see, we'll go to a cafe, get a coffee or something, and we'll be like, all right, well, let's read our stories from last night and pull them out of the photo. This is about my dad, who I didn't meet until I was I just laugh They're such beautiful, touching stories, but he just laughs. I just
Right.
keep crying, and he's like, "What is wrong with you?" But they're so touching, like they're so real, you
Yeah.
know. And it reminds me of how human we all are. And
Yeah.
every night, it's like the connection grows stronger because you're looking out into this like crowd of other people who are just like you,
Yeah.
with all these stories and all these feelings. And I'm going to cry now if I keep talking.
But
so beautiful.
It's great that the stories are anonymous because you don't have to pay royalties then.
Yeah.
Absolutely. No one has to get
Please do
songwriting
not throw your
credit.
name down on this.
We're like, we're going to write a story about this one.
Fans will be like, wait a minute, I know that story.
So when you're writing together, do you find that you bring different things out in each other that you perhaps wouldn't have brought out in yourself?
Absolutely.
I think so. Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, because I think we both really have very specific songwriting styles that kind of a lot of the time stick to that route, you know. And I think that's one of the great things about getting together with another artist that has a different sound, is that you can complement each other and really kind of bounce off each other and bounce different ideas off and really have that kind of amalgamation of sound.
So once this tour is over and the EP is set aside, what happens after that? Are you back to your own solo careers, or what is the next?
I don't know.
Yeah, I'm doing a lot of travelling, working on my debut album, which I'm trying my hardest to get out before the end of the year.
Yeah.
Just had a very long road of health issues and a whole bunch of stuff that's kind of slowed that down, and my music and everything in general down. So it's nice to kind of get back into playing and recording, and that's been part of the like just something awesome about going out on tour with Sam, is just being able to go out and kickstart that again. And, you know, it's just been great.
Yeah.
That's been great.
Yeah.
I mean, you mentioned your health issues, and I know you had a cancer diagnosis several years ago. I mean, has this album turned into something quite cathartic for you in terms of being able to work through everything that you went through?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think it's a big road personally to get back to where you really feel like you're on top of things again. But I mean, Sam's been part of my recovery, and it's just been like really great to get back into songwriting and kind of get onto that journey again.
I can't follow that. I mean, I can't follow a cancer story. It's just not. So we do the gig, and he goes, "Okay, this is a song about, you know, I went through cancer and this happened, and then it's my turn to sing my song solo." And I'm like, I don't know what to say after that.
Yeah, sorry about that. It's a bit of a okay, elephant in the room.
But you had quite an epic story behind your last solo album, The Water, in terms of
I did.
travelling for 18 months throughout Latin America.
Yeah.
So is there a similar journey awaiting?
Well, there is a similar journey awaiting, although I probably won't do it for 18 months next time, because that's a really long time, and I like to be able to afford to eat.
Eating is good.
Yeah.
Eating is good.
But yeah, that whole trip informed the album, and it has actually really been informing sort of how I've been building my life since I've been back home for the last couple of years. So the next album, I think what really happened actually on that trip was I feel like I really expanded what mattered to me in the world. You know, before I went away on that trip, I made music and hung out with my friends and my family and my partner. And I felt like there was some dimensions missing to myself as a human. And I feel like that trip helped me to find those missing dimensions and start to cultivate, you know, what really mattered to me on a broader scale, you know, outside of myself. And so what I'm finding now writing this new album is that that's all starting to come into the light in my songwriting. So a lot of my songs now I'm writing about concepts as opposed to particular stories or experiences, or I'm writing from a different place. I feel like I'm writing from a place of a different kind of understanding or a different perspective than I have in the past. So I was actually listening to a lot of the songs for the album yesterday, going through them and going, oh, that's right, I forgot that I was thinking that 5 months ago.
Right.
And so as I piece together what the album's going to be, there's kind of a story of that process happening that unfolds. So I'm not entirely sure what it looks like yet, but I'm really excited because I feel like I'm writing songs that go somewhere that my songwriting hasn't gone before.
Great.
And I want to keep exploring that. So I'm basically just trying to be as brutally honest as I possibly can be in every song.
Yeah, nice.
Which is really a bit scary. But it feels really good, and it feels good when I've been sort of trying some of them out live here and
Yeah,
there.
great.
And when I try them out, it just I feel real.
Awesome.
And that's really awesome. So
Great.
that's where that's heading.
All right. Well, we look forward to hearing both of those albums when they're due. But for now, we're going to hear one more song, I'll Be There Tonight, from your EP. So this is your, I guess it's you. You sing,
No,
you made
he
me
wrote this
sing
one.
it. Yeah.
He wrote this one.
Yeah,
Okay.
so this one is just following that theme of just being there for someone, whether that's a friend or family member. Tried to write it in a way that wasn't specifically in, like, because so many of these songs are love ballads and they're specifically for that one that you love. And for this one, we tried to steer away from that a little bit and just be there for the person that you care about, you know? So that's where this one
Whoever that
comes from.
person is.
Whoever that person
Yeah.
is, yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, once again, thank you very much for coming on the show.
Thank you.
Pleasure
Thanks
to
for
have
having
you.
us.
Thank you for having us. Come lay your heavy head down on my shoulder. I know there are times that ain't worth the time. I'll take your sorrow until it's all over. There's no need to fear when your friends are around. So lay your heart on down. I'll be your soul. Solid ground. There ain't no sense in drowning in this tonight. Take all your fear and worry, give you the strength and courage. I'll be the one to help you make it alright. I'll be there tonight. If I were more than a man, I'd bring you the stars to light up your night, to shine through the dark. I'll travel the world to the moon and back to be next to you, to see you smile. That's when your light shines through. So lay your heart on down. I'll be your soul. Let ground. There ain't no sense in drowning in this tonight. Take all your fear and worry, give you the strength and courage. I'll be